Hello everyone, I am testing the early access from Steam VR game called Battle Group VR, and so far I'm liking it quite a bit. It still has its early access bugs and whatnot. The developer is very active in Discord, so just kind of hang tight there and work through the bugs with me. So this is going to be a gameplay video of Conquest Mode, and as you can see you've got a map here. Um, It's kind of hard to see, like I said, because you can't really record the peripheral vision and whatnot. Plus, I'm sitting down, and this one I've been standing up for the last hour playing. The game does not have a seated mode right now, so the menus are a little wonky and kind of one of my pet peeves so far in the game. Hopefully, it'll be fixed. But um, other than that, basically what I'm doing here is setting up to capture a sector. I just changed my name over to my Remus name, but it still has my Steam name. For some reason, it doesn't change it. It's still stuck at Grammaton Cleric for you Equilibrium fans out there. So anyway, what we're doing here is basically taking over a sector in this Conquest mode. It's a single player mode, but it looks like there's other players involved. I'm not real clear exactly how that's being worked out, but as you can see, the graphics are halfway decent. The one thing I don't like is this area up here, where the reflection is kind of in your way. But and one of the other issues that I have here is this map that I'm dealing with here. Um, it every time you leave manual mode or you go back and forth from the map to other modes in this, it resets the map to the original position and rotation, as you'll see when I come back here from adjusting the speed of the fleet. It's something I really don't like, because especially when you get into battle, you're constantly having to bring your map to the last position you're at, as you can see. So I've got to turn around, I've got to grab and pull it towards me and zoom and rotate. So it just gets pretty annoying, and maybe this is because the game doesn't have a seated mode. It would appear here that I still have a damaged ship from the last battle, as I forgot to go and repair my ship. So hopefully this one will go pretty well and I don't look like a total dork getting my ass whipped here. So anyway, as you can see here, I'm kind of moving my fleet around. Like this damaged guy here, I'm ordering him to the back of the fleet so he doesn't get popped. Mainly because I don't want to lose my captain that I've been working on for the last few days and the ship. So there's my little blonde, my little girlfriend there. Hey baby. As you can see, she loves me. So anyway, so now we've got an enemy fleet detected here, and this is where the battle starts. And like I said, pardon the quick movements and everything. You kind of have to move quick. You have a slow down for time, but it just doesn't allow you to grasp the actual gameplay here in full speed mode. So sit back and enjoy. So one of the main things I'm doing here is I'm kind of picking one enemy ship and focusing my fire on him, which is this torpedo ship. And typically what I like to do is I like to take down the weapons and the engine on the ship, and then I just kind of leave it there. It takes it a minute or a while to repair its weapons and engines, but I can basically disable the fleet. And the reason why I do that is so every enemy ship you destroy, they drop what's called an upgrade, or an upgrade point. And you actually have to go get it from the location of the destroyed ship. Well, obviously, if you don't destroy the ship, you don't get the upgrade point. And when the enemy gets to a certain damage level, they start to retreat. And which is why I take out their engines. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. Is I've got the engines down, I've got the weapons down, and now I'm working on the hull a little bit. I can move on to other targets.
Yes, Commander.
Focus fire is ready.
Down Archiv. Front Archiv.
Direct fire.
Launching shield injector.
Aye, Captain. Affirmative.
Locked in. Enemy targeted. Target destroyed.
Targets.
Locked in.
You got it.
Direct fire.
Copy that.
Absolutely.
Copy that. Intercept.
One thing I do like is that the menu systems that are on your hands here are very easy to use, and just everything is so interactive and immersive. It's and very responsive, and that's why I think this game is going to be an absolute gem in VR. It kind of has that Ender's Game feel to it, I guess you could say. You definitely feel like a commander in this one. You don't have the ability to jump to your other ships in the fleet, which I kind of hope they would change, or they will change at some point. But as you can see, so this is the manual mode where I'm actually steering the ship here, and it's a little off, like I said, because I'm seated. You see those adjustment bars. You constantly have to move them around just because they don't seem to stay in the position that you put them in. It's like it completely forgets from one moment to the next. So if I go to the map from here, which you'll see here in just a second, the map's all the way zoomed out again. I got to go all the way back to where I was. And then if I go back into that manual mode, it's the same thing. Everything's going to be, I'm going to have to reset everything. So, or everything's been reset. So again, this is early access, and I'm sure this is something that will be worked on because it's probably one of the main complaints that I've seen so far, and it's kind of what's the game breaker for me, is just constantly having to readjust the menus from my personal preferences, like every single instance.
Right Archiv.
Keep pressure. One degrees incoming.
Upgrade acquired.
Aye, Captain.
Target shield arc is down. Right Archiv. Enemy striker corvette is launching torpedo launcher. Ready to roll
4
out.
degrees incoming.
Absolutely. Understood.
Enemy engine
Roger.
has been disabled. Closing in. Your command.
So something you have probably noticed, you seem to spend a lot more time in the map section than you actually do using your view screens, or looking out the windows there. I'm an RTS guy, so this is kind of my play style, but you can select targets and everything from the manual mode out of your view screen instead of using the map, so that is an option. You just don't
Yes,
see it
Commander.
here because I don't prefer to use it.
Ready.
Alright, so the bad guy's pretty much dead. The sector's mine, and here's another little feature here. It's the Spectator Mode, and I don't like it in its current state. It kind of works like the map, but it just seems to be centered over your ship only. You can't really move around the right way. It's hard to explain, but it's I don't like it. It needs to work more like a map here that you see. And there's your upgrade point. You probably saw earlier that I was dragging my ships to those points. Those are the points you get, and they can help you unlock items and fleet slots and whatnot. So right now I'm just getting this last upgrade point, and then I'm going to be warping out of the system.
Upgrade acquired.
Engaging warp.
Five, four,
Alright, so we're warping out
two,
of
one.
the system, and as you can see, this reflection in front of me here is extremely annoying. And here's the other issue with the menus are just constantly resetting back to some unknown position, and I'm always having to readjust and move them around, and then back to the reflection. As you can see, it blocks you can't see what's going on or really read what's going on. You can fix all this, or not really fix it, but you can adjust your captains and do their skills back at the home world. But again, these are just some little early access glitches that need to be fixed. Alright, as you can see, the menu has reset, the map is reset. I've got to do everything over again. Again, everything goes back to some default every instance. So it gets real repetitive and old. So what I'm doing here is I am basically doing what I was going to try and do at the end of the mission, when the lighting effects were blocking out all the text, which is leveling up my captains. So that's what I'm doing here, and it's just, as you can see, it's a lot easier to see and do without the graphics glitches in your way.
Roger. I'm on it. Your command.
Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do here is use my upgrade points to unlock a new ship slot as soon as I finish this captain here. And you see that 20 up there, those are my collected upgrade points. So I've got to have a captain, obviously, for my new ship. So you can inspect your captains for hire, and they all have different abilities, and you can slot them and put them in your new ship. I'm going to go with this guy here. Next, I'm going to use my upgrade points. It takes 9 to unlock a 5th slot, and then find a new ship to add to that slot. And all these unknowns here weren't there yesterday. So that means there's that many more different ship classes to unlock, which is super exciting. So I decided to go with this Escort Frigate here. It looks like it has missile defense. So I'm going to go ahead and buy it, and it automatically adds to the slot. And I'm going to put my new captain in there. So basically it's pretty self-explanatory, setting up your fleet. It's really simple. The next thing I'm going to do is upgrade this new ship. Well, I'm going to rename it and then upgrade it. You don't have to rename your ship, but I like renaming it. I'm a MechWarrior Online fan, and I'm in a unit called Urbinomics. So I've been naming all my ships like Urbi 1, Urbi 2, because the game actually announces your ship, whatever you type in. So it's kind of cool hearing it. So everything is pretty self-explanatory. You have hard points. You can upgrade those hard points. You can use different missiles and turrets and whatnot from your inventory that's there on the right. And your inventory on the right pretty much shows what can go on that hard point and whether or not you've got one or you can buy it. In this case here, there's something new I've never seen, which is a tactical warp, and it takes 2 of those upgrade points that I have 11 of there to unlock and then buy. And this thing looks pretty cool. I can warp around different points on the map, which I think might be good for a defensive ship. So we'll give it a shot. And pretty much everything just, is upgradable and able to be purchased. It's real self-explanatory, and each ship has its own special hard points and whatnot. So by now you've probably already decided if you want to give this game a shot, and I think it's really worth it. So totally fun to upgrade your fleet and get them better. There's a little bit of a grind element to it, which is perfectly fine by me. So again, if you get it now, it's still in early access, and it will be for a little while. The developer is very active on Discord. I see him on there all the time, and replying to the feedback and fixing bugs and whatnot. So the game is not just being thrown out there and then just going to be abandoned. I've had a couple of Steam early access games that were abandoned and I never got my money back for, so I've been real hesitant to do this. But this one I took a gamble on, and so far as it is right now, it's definitely worth the money that I've already spent for the game. So, and I am playing this on my Quest 2 with my link cable. You can do this with virtual desktop wirelessly if you want, but for me it does have a couple of hangs. The game is very resource heavy. I run a really nice system, and with a 2080 Ti and everything, and it pegs it out. So whether it's optimized or not, it's kind of hard to say, but that's basically the rundown of it. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you saw this as a decent review and helped you decide on whether or not you want to get this game. I do know that there's a multiplayer element being worked in, so that's going to be awesome as well.